Hello and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining into this session, and I'm sure you'll have some amazing learnings. A request, please be completely focused because this session is going to be very important, and also take a lot of notes. Okay, so what are we going to be covering in this session? There are three things. First is, what are the biggest career problems that you face as of today? The second is, why leadership skills are crucial for you. And thirdly, how to get a job promotion. Quick introduction because you need to know who you are listening from. My name is Sudhindra Haribhat. I am based in Pune. I am a leadership coach for new and mid-level managers. I'm a founder of a community called as the Leadership Hub. This is a community of all my paid clients, over 250 members. I have a long experience in the corporate world. I was there for 24 years where I managed team from size of 2 all the way up to 200. So I always jokingly say that probably there is no mistake as far as leadership is concerned that I haven't made. And I've worked in different parts of the world. I was there in South Africa for many years. I worked in the United States and Europe, and I've worked across industries. I was in the IT industry for over 2 decades, and I've worked with utility, manufacturing, pharma, education, and so on. Lots of them. I'm an electronics engineer by qualification from a place called as Miraz. This is in the southern part of Maharashtra. And I'm a co-founder of Pune Running. It is the largest running community. I'm a marathon runner by hobby. I'm a proud father and husband. To the left of your screen is my wife Reena, and in the middle is our daughter Sakshi. So I've done a lot of surveys and I've asked people around. I have my own community. I've checked with them. Primarily, these are the three most common concerns that everyone seems to have. First of all, will I remain in my job? That is an existential question. Second is, will I get a promotion or an increment? Some years ago, it was predictable. So a promotion came in, say, at least 3 or 5 years, and a job increment came in every year. The percentage could vary, but it was always there. And why are there no opportunities? Because earlier people would just go to Monster or Naukri and update their profile and start getting opportunities or start getting interview calls, but that doesn't seem to happen anymore. And these are the three most common concerns, and I'm sure you also have one, two, or maybe all three of those concerns. And then I further ask people, okay, what is it that you wish for? And people tell me that these are the things that they wish for in their skills. Firstly, that the skills are in high demand. They want skills that are high in demand, and skills where the competition is low. And thirdly, they want evergreen skills. So for example, if you are from the IT world, you would know what I'm talking about. Someone who was a COBOL programmer, say 20-25 years ago, today is a nobody, right? Who cares for COBOL programming skills? Or if you are just a business analyst in any field, no one cares for you. You need to know analytics, you need to know a lot of different tools, so many things. So what people wish for is that skills that are high in demand, where the competition is low, and skills that are evergreen. The question is, do such skills exist? The answer is absolutely yes, and no prizes for guessing, because that is the topic that I'm going to be talking about: leadership skills. So leadership skills fulfill all these criteria, and in the next few minutes I'm going to be decoding exactly that for you. Okay, so the first question is, who is a leader? Now, each one of us will have our own definition of who a leader is. I'm going to tell you a little story. So this was way back when I was in school in 5th standard, and during our times, boys of our age, we were all cricket crazy. So was I. And our sports teacher, he was going to be selecting the team from our class to represent our class. And 6 of the guys were pretty much automatic selections because they were that good. The 7th position was between me and a friend, and both of us were very excited about that position. I was quite confident of getting selected because I was the better batsman than him. We were both average bowlers and neither of us were good fielders. So I was very confident. Sir announced the team. First 6 name, expected lines. 7th name, he didn't pick me. He picked the other guy. I was shocked. I said, "Sir, how can you do this? You know I'm the better batsman." Sir just smiled at me and he said, "I picked him because everyone listens to him." I said, "What?" He said, "Yes, I picked him because everyone listens to him." I was not at all convinced, but that line, that everyone listens to him, stuck in my head. I moved on 5th standard, 6th standard, 7th, 8th, and then 9th standard. Here's another cricket story. So I've been brought up in a railway colony. My dad was working in the railway, so that's where I lived. We had a cricket team and our captain was getting into the 10th standard. He said, I need to focus on my studies, so I can't play with you guys. We had a team meeting and we had to select the captain. Our captain was getting into the 10th standard, so he said, guys, this year I need to focus on my studies, so you please take care of the team. So we had a team meeting to pick up the next captain, and all the guys unanimously decided that I should be the captain. Now let me tell you a few things. I was not the best batsman, nor was I the best bowler, nor the best fielder, nor was I the richest guy who owned the bat and the ball and everything else, nor was I the big bully who could scare people. I'm just 5 feet 3 inches. Yet they picked me. And the reason they gave was that we feel like listening to you. Now, the years rolled by, I got into the corporate world, I started working, then I started managing people, and I slowly started understanding a new concept. And when I understood this new concept, then I realized that the same context was being referred to by my railway colony friends as well as my school teacher. They were not talking about it, but they were referring to it, and that term is leadership. Then it all came together. I connected the dots, and based on those experiences, this is the definition that I have come up with for leadership. A leader is someone who people listen to and follow willingly at all times. Willingly is the operative word here. It's not obedience, it is about willingness. And let me make a clarification here. A leader is not the same as a manager. A manager is recognized by designation. In an organization, you can have a project manager, team manager, program manager, account manager, portfolio manager, this manager, that manager. That is the designation an organization gives. However, a leader is recognized by the actions that he or she takes, not by what the organization calls him or her, but by the actions that the person takes. And whether people who are watching those actions, whether they feel like respecting the person or not, defines whether he or she is a leader or not. So in other words, a person can have a designation of a manager, but if he or she doesn't demonstrate the traits of a leader, then people will not be following that person willingly, and that person definitely is only a manager and not a leader. On the other hand, there could be a person who might be an individual contributor, but if people respect that person and are willing to follow him or her, then that person, without being a manager yet, can definitely be a leader. I hope this concept is clear to you now. So the next question is, why should you learn leadership skills? And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should do that. The first is, there is immense shortage of leadership skills. And Gallup, one of the top management consulting organizations in the world, they did a survey, and what they found out is that 82% of the people at different levels of management have major lacuna as far as their leadership skills are concerned. Now look at ourselves. We have dealt with many managers in our lives, right? And how many managers do we really respect for their leadership skills? Maybe we can count them with the fingers of our hand, or unfortunately, maybe with the fingers of a single hand. We don't need Gallup to tell us this. So there is a huge shortage as far as leadership skills are concerned. Secondly, leadership skills are timeless. So whether it is today, 6 months ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago, or 6 months from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 25 years from now, 100 years from now, leadership skills will always be relevant. Leadership skills will never go outdated like those COBOL programming skills or business analysis skills. Leadership skills will always be relevant, and that is why you should learn leadership skills. It will never go waste. Of course, you can get better and better at it and evolve, but the basic will be there and it will always be necessary. The third is, it will make you unique and future-proof. Let me explain. You have certain core skills, technical skills, technology skills, domain skills, administrative skills, functional skills. You have those skills, and because of which you have got the job. Now, for you to remain relevant in the job, you need to be upgrading your skills. Otherwise, you could get outdated and be kicked out of your job. Look around you. Your friends, your peers, your competitors, they are also upgrading their skills. So even if you upgrade your skills today, everyone else is doing it. So therefore, you are in a perfect rat race. So just to stay alive, you need to do this. Forget about prospering and moving forward. How do you become unique? So I'll tell you something. If you learn leadership skills, you will be unique, because none of your peers or friends or whoever else, none of your competitors are working on their leadership skills. Let me clarify something. You need to, of course, be strong in your core skills. You have to have strong core skills. Add leadership skills on top of it, and you will become an irresistible combination. Now, at the minimum, you will become unfireable. The best case scenario is you will become an irresistible combination and out of the rat race. And these are the three critical reasons why you should be learning leadership skills. What I'm going to be talking about is 3-step ladder in your learning journey. These are 3 steps which I'm going to go really deep into that you need to understand. The first is that you need to delegate and empower. This is a very important concept and most people don't seem to get this. So you should have the right setting for you to be getting into a new role. Second is you need to work on yourself where you no longer behave like a victim. And the third thing is that you need to understand the ecosystem. You need to manage above and beyond yourself. It is not good enough to be able to do your role well and also ensure that your team performs well. You need to be able to manage the ecosystem above and beyond you. So these are the 3 concepts that I'm going to get into. Let's do that. So first of all, delegating and empowering. Remember that if you try to do everything yourself, you may succeed to a limited extent, but it will inhibit your potential for growth. Obviously, people below you will not at all enjoy working with you. So it is very important that you understand the concept of delegation and empowering as well. You need to give people responsibilities. You need to also ensure that they feel empowered to do it. Let me give you a story, a personal story. So my daughter Sakshi, she was in her 10th standard. She had finished her 10th standard and she was having fun. So every day she used to go to this party, that birthday gift, and she would always ask me for money. And we would have this argument. So I decided that this is not going to work and let's change things around. I said to her, sit down and give me a budget for this month. Prepare the budget for this month and give it to me. And she did write down all the things and I gave her 2,300 rupees. And 2 days later, I just saw that she had climbed atop our lift and she was looking for something. I asked her what happened. She said that no, there is a book that I had bought 2 years ago. I'm looking for it. I said, why? She said that no, there's my friend's birthday today and I want to gift it to him. I smiled. So the thing is, when I gave her the 2,300 rupees, I had said to her that this is your money for the month. Don't come back to me for extra money. I'm not going to give you any extra money. You have to manage it. At the same time, if you save any money out of this, if you save anything out of this, then it is your money. I'm not going to be asking for it. It will be completely unaccounted for. That is your reward. So that worked brilliantly and she took complete ownership of whatever I had given her. And what also happened is immediately she started telling her friends as well. She would proudly tell her friends, I have a lot of money. My dad has given it to me and I'm allowed to spend it the way I want. Every month I can spend it the way I want. The third aspect of delegating and empowerment is that you should trust your people. If you don't trust your people, it's a non-starter. But at the same time, you should also verify. If things go wrong, you should be able to catch it at the right time. So coming back to Sakshi's example, we have another rule in there. First day of the following month, she is supposed to come back and give me the expenses for the previous month, the actuals, and for the forthcoming month, she has to give me a budget. Okay, on the first of every month. And there's something even more interesting. If she delays submission by 1 day, she has to pay a 100 rupee fine. If it is delayed by 2 days, then it is 200. 3 days, 300, and so on. So what it means is, if she comes to me with a budget of, let's say, 1700 rupees, and if she's delayed by 1 day, she'll get 1600, not 1700. If she delays by 2 days, she'll get 1500, and so on. For the first few months, she struggled and she actually paid penalties. From then on, it's been nearly 3 years now. Not once has she paid any penalty. If you set up the system in such a manner that the people who are working with you, they feel empowered. You give them all the responsibilities, also the authority, you trust them, but have the right checks and balances. That is, you verify at appropriate times. Maybe you can have weekly reviews if needed. Whatever you do, if you can do all this, then you will have a lot of free time to take on other responsibilities. This is also a very good demonstration of a growth mindset. So that is why you need to learn to delegate and empower. Before I left my last organization, I was having a chat with one of my subordinates. She had 15 years experience, so she had seen a lot of things. And she said to me that you are the best leader that I have ever worked for in my 15 years. I said, is it? I just being nice to me. And then she referred to the first conversation that we'd had in our first meeting. I couldn't remember any of it, but she said that I told her in the meeting that you go ahead, do the work. If things go well, the credit is entirely yours. If things go down, the blame is all mine. Just go forth and conquer. Apparently, that's what I said. And it helped her confidence. Obviously, it never came to a situation where I had to come and take the blame for her bad work. She did a fabulous job. And the trust that I showed in her and the way I empowered her made her think that I am the best leader that she has worked for. Now, the second thing is that it is very common for people to think of themselves as victim. Now, if I ask you, do you hate politics? You will in all likelihood say yes. I'll tell you something. We live on this earth, right? Can you afford to hate air? Can you afford to hate water? Can you afford to hate food? No, right? Similarly, if you are a working professional, you cannot afford to hate office politics. Whether you are in a small organization or a big organization, whether you are the junior most or the owner or somewhere in middle, whether you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, freelancer, part-timer, whatever it is, if you're dealing with people, politics will be there. And I'll tell you what, even in personal life, politics will always be there. Two guys chasing the same girl or two girls chasing the same guy. Between them, they will always be playing politics. So office politics is something which you just have to accept and don't look at it as something which you hate. In fact, I can say for sure that you hate office politics because you have been a victim of it. So the first thing to remember is that you're not going to be a victim of office politics anymore. So remove from your dictionary or from your mindset that office politics is a bad word. It's not. Also take a decision that you're not going to run away from office politics. Don't say, I hate politics, I don't want anything to do with it, whatever. No. Say that I will be part of the game. That is how you're going to be growing. The third thing is that you need to keep learning office politics. A sports person, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, whenever they get out for a zero, do they say, nah, I don't want to play this game anymore, I want to quit? They don't do that. They go back, learn, and then come back again. You're also going to be doing the same. So as far as office politics is concerned, for your growth, for your career, for your skill building, you have to accept it as something which exists and you're going to learn to master it, not run away from it. Okay. Now, the third and the most important concept is the ecosystem. You do a fabulous job in your role. You take good care of your team members and make sure that they also do their job well. But many times that is not good enough for your growth, because there are things, there are people, there are situations, there are systems which are way beyond your limited scope. And that is going to decide your fate. That is going to decide whether you are going to get a promotion or not, whether you are going to get an increment or not, award, whatever it is. That system is going to decide it. And something which is very important is people below you are going to respect you for the results that you get. So you may be a fabulous man manager where you talk nicely to people, you inspire them, you tell them how good the work is. You may also be doing a lot of work. If you can't get the results for them, their respect will dwindle. So therefore, for you to become a very effective and well-respected leader, you have to be able to manage the ecosystem. So how do you do that? First thing is you need to manage your manager. Now, this might seem very strange. You are there to manage yourself and your team. How do you manage the manager, right? But it is very, very important. The first thing is that you need to know your manager's KRAs, that is key result areas and priorities. And if you don't know your manager's KRAs and priorities, you ought to find that out right away. I'll give you an example. At the beginning of my career as a manager, I was managing a team where we had to support a customer. A customer was going through some terrible times, and one day we had to sit the entire night. So we worked for 20 hours straight and solved a major problem for our customer. Our customer was very happy, is very thankful. He sent a mail expressing gratitude. I forwarded that mail to my manager and he just said, well done, and that was it. When we met again, he didn't even mention it. I felt bad. Then I went to a senior friend of mine and I spoke to him about it. He asked me, do you know what your manager's priorities are? I said, I don't know, but I'm sure customer service must be one. And he said, no, go find out. So in the next few days, I just asked my manager how are things and a few questions. And he said that things are tough. My boss is putting a lot of pressure on me for business growth, and he said that if I don't do it, then I could be in trouble. I realized that, oh, this is what his priority is. I suggested to him, hey, you know what? Why not have a brainstorming session off-site with the team, maybe for half a day, and let us see what business growth ideas the team comes up with. My manager loved that idea. He said, hey, yeah, we must do that. And we all went for half a day. We came up with some new ideas. And my manager said, okay, let me take this further up and let's see what happens. At the end of that month, in our award ceremony, I got the Employee of the Month award. I was pleasantly surprised. I was sure it was because of the customer feedback and all the nice work that the team and I had done. I saw the citation. It was not for the customer feedback or the great work that we did there. It was for the suggestion that I had given to my manager that we have an offsite. And he said that that is going to be helping business growth. Now, there were no results yet, but he loved that. So if you align yourself with your manager's priorities, it's going to help you a lot. I'm not saying don't do your core job. You have to. I have to take care of the customer if I'm working for him or her. But I also need to know what my manager's priorities are so I can spend energy there as well. Okay, this is for the first point. Second is you need to know your manager's strengths and weaknesses. So I had a manager who was a very good speaker. She used to speak very well in public, but her presentations, that the PPTs sucked. And my PPTs are reasonably good. So I went to her and offered to help. And I said, hey, can I help you with some of the PPTs? You make her so many presentations. She was very happy and she said, please do that. And we developed a very good rapport because of it. Now, I didn't disrespect her and say that your PPTs suck and that's why I should help you. I said it in a nice, subtle way. Similarly, identify what your manager's strengths and weaknesses are and play along it. So if your manager is technologically very strong and then there is a situation where you need some technology help, go and seek it from your manager. Similarly, if you know your manager is weak in certain areas, then softly, indirectly, in a nice manner, offer to help in the areas of weakness of your manager. That will help you go a long way. Third is you need to know your manager's likes and dislikes. So I was working in an organization where we had flexible time. So 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. we could come in any time in the office and leave after 9 hours of working. I had a new manager and he was always in at 9 a.m. because he preferred it like that. He didn't tell us anything about it, but that's how he preferred. I observed that and I used to come in at 9:30, 10, but I decided that if 9 a.m. is what he prefers, maybe I should change. So I started coming in at 9 a.m. There were some very good benefits because of it. So 9 a.m. most people wouldn't be there. So he used to give me a lot of time. We used to have very healthy discussions and that helped us a lot in work. And of course, I built a very good rapport with him. So you should know what your manager's likes and dislikes are. So for example, does your manager prefer email, WhatsApp communication or phone calls? Or does your manager prefer meetings in the mornings, afternoon, evenings, whatever it is? In-depth information, summary information, frequent information, less frequent information. You should know your manager's likes and dislikes and align yourself according to it. Because your manager, a smart one at least, would also be aligning like that above him or her. and so on. So everyone is aligned towards the organization goals. Now, let me tell you of an exception, that if your manager himself or herself is misaligned and is going on in a completely different direction, then you need to change track and maybe align yourself with your two up. That is an exceptional situation where your manager is not suited to be in the role that he or she is. But otherwise, by default, you should align yourself with your manager. There's a nice line that I always say is that your job is to make your manager look good. Do that and you will be successful too. The second is you need to manage the influencers. See, managers will come and go, they will be fired, they will leave, teams will change. So if you are invested only in your manager and the manager goes away, and when decisions are to be made about your future and your team's prospects, then all could be lost because the person who was going to be doing it for you has gone away. So you should always make sure that it's not just the manager that you're dependent on. And besides, if you're working in a larger organization, then it is very likely that your manager can only make a recommendation and there might be a panel, other people higher up who would be making those decisions. Now, you should be able to work there as well. So you should know who the people are who are going to be influencing decisions about you. Whether it is awards, whether it is increments, whether it is promotion, whatever it is, you should know the people who are going to make the decisions for you. That is the first step. Second is start connecting with them passively. Just when you walk across the hall, say hello to them. Be ready with your 20-second elevator pitch whenever you have to speak to them, and connect with them on LinkedIn. Like their posts, comment on their posts, do those little things and connect passively. Or you can, and then you can start connecting actively as well if you're comfortable doing that. If you have that equation, set up a meeting with them maybe once a month or something. Include your manager as well. You don't have to bypass, just to give them an update whenever there is any good news, whenever any contract is won, or whenever there is an appreciation mail from the client, something nice happens, just share it with them as well, marking all the others that are needed to know. Start interacting with them, have general chats, so that way they will also know about the good work that you're doing. And if needed, if your manager is insecure and unwilling to let you interact with the higher ups, you may need to bypass your manager as well. But it is very important that you manage the influencers. You keep in touch with them, because remember, they are going to be taking decisions when you are not around to defend yourself or explain yourself. So those people need to know about you without you being physically present in front of them. Okay, so these are the three important concepts that you ought to understand and learn. And this is a very nice line that I read somewhere, that a good lawyer knows the law, but a great lawyer knows the judge. So it is not enough to just know the law or just do your work well. You should also know how the judge thinks, that is, people above you, how do they think, what their priorities are. And that is how you can get a great judgment for yourself. Let's move forward and look at your career growth, because you're in this game for the long term. Okay. So what does career growth for a typical employee mean? There are four aspects to it. The first is getting increments. The second is getting promotion. Third is awards and recognition. And the fourth is new opportunities. Now, let's see it on a graph. So if you're on your own, if you're going to be working on your own, then this is the graph that you will typically find, where your growth is there. It is steady, but it is a very gradual slope. You can do this by self-development, where you use your personal experience, that is, you make mistakes, you learn from your mistakes, or you can go around learning on your own by Googling, watching videos on YouTube. You could read books, and you could also use your willpower to do your self-development. So this is how your graph looks when you're on your own. I'll tell you a way which can be much better than this. Real solid, where it doesn't have to be such a slow graph. Get a coach. I'll tell you the mistake that I made. In my career of 24 years as a working professional, as an employee, I never had a coach. I learned everything on my own through all the mistakes. So in fact, I always say that there is probably no mistake that I haven't made, but you don't have to go through that same journey. Find a coach for yourself, a coach who has the following traits. Okay. The first is your coach should have vast knowledge. Second is Whatever you discuss with your coach should be 100% confidential. Only then can you open up about your insecurities, your fears, your worries, your challenges, your flaws, everything. Okay, so make sure that that arrangement exists. And thirdly, your coach should have a great track record. Now, if you get a coach, this is far, far better than doing it on your own. But let me tell you something which is even better than getting a coach, and that is grow with an awesome coach and a very vibrant community. If you can have a coach along with a community, then there's nothing like it. That is the best case scenario. So what does a vibrant community mean? There should be clear direction. There should be high energy, very high energy within the community. There should be a sense of belonging. People from within the community should all be very tight knit. And the community should be result oriented. So if you can get these four traits in a community, I would say join it right away. Apurva Bansal, she's an IT professional and she's part of my community, and this is how Apurva has benefited from the community and the coaching. And read it quickly. Chaudhary Babu is also part of my community, and this is how he has earned the respect of his organization. So I'm going to be talking about my Leadership Hub now. Leadership Hub community has over 250 members, and for those of you who are really serious about your learning, this is the place to be. If you're not serious about learning, if you don't want to go any further, then I would say you can stop this video right now and go back to living the kind of life that you have been living so far. But if you're really serious and if you really want to progress in your career by learning leadership skills and moving forward, then here's something very useful for you. So in the Leadership Hub community, there are three aspects. First is there is the inner circle. Then there is one-to-one coaching that I provide, and then there are online video recorded courses. Minal Patil is one of our inner circle members. I'd like you to just listen to what she has to say.
This is Minal. I'm the founder of Nilavi Digital, a digital marketing agency. So I came across this leadership mastery course by Sudhi Haribhat through one of my friends, and I decided to go for it. Initially, I used to struggle a lot with my negotiation skills, but after completion of this course, my negotiation skills has improved a lot. In fact, I like the emotional intelligence model from this course. I started applying it in my professional as well as a personal life. Inner circle and the one-to-one session with Sudhi is an added advantage. Overall, I would say this course has been designed methodically, and the modules covered are a great start for you whether you are a working professional or an entrepreneur. So thank you so much, Sudhi. Thanks for this wonderful course, and thanks for being a wonderful coach.
Thank you, Minal. So the Inner Circle is a community with over 250 members, and every Monday 8 p.m. India time I conduct a webinar where I teach new concepts, where I ask people to do a lot of activities, and we also have something called as 21-day challenges where people are given a certain task and they have to do it repeatedly for 21 days so that after that it becomes a habit. And I bring in industry experts, I interview them, and there is also the concept of accountability partner, because if you are left to yourself, then you are unlikely to learn unless you have immense willpower. And besides, depending on willpower is also not very good, because at some point or the other, the willpower is going to wane. So you have an accountability partner and you learn with that partner. And I give out certificates and badges to our finishers, and this is how they look. Shubhangi Mangolikar is a senior manager in an IT organization, and this is how she's been benefiting from the Leadership Inner Circle community. So this is the graph. Join a community, work with an awesome coach, and your growth will be stratospheric. Okay, so this is my clear-cut message to you. The next thing in the Leadership Hub community is online training courses. These are video recorded courses. The first one is Leadership Mastery and System, in which I talk about the leadership skills, how to assess them, then the difference between chasing perfection versus making progress, how to motivate during a crisis, how to praise and criticize, and how to handle difficult team members. Then there is self-leadership secrets, where you are able to understand your strengths and weaknesses, not just the obvious ones, but the ones that have been hidden from you, how to improve your self-discipline, and a magical tool called journaling, which I use personally on a daily basis. Then negotiation skills. Most people think that negotiation skills are only required for people who are in sales jobs, or whenever you have to negotiate for a new salary or job. But I'll tell you what, negotiation skills are always required. So I teach you to negotiate with your customer, vendor, boss, subordinates, and even your children. Emotional intelligence is an extremely important topic, because logical intelligence is not enough for career growth. So in this course, I talk about the difference between EQ and IQ, and there are 4 steps to develop your emotional intelligence. First is understand your emotions, second is control your emotions, third is understand others' emotions, and fourth is manage others' emotions. Now, the important thing is you cannot skip the steps. So you cannot manage others' emotions if you don't understand your own emotions. Very popular and very important module is office politics. In this module, I teach you how to not become a victim of office politics, and more importantly, I teach you how to win at office politics. Now, let me make it clear here. I'm not going to teach you any dirty tricks or anything unethical or anything negative by way of which you can damage other people. I'm only going to teach you things which are ethical and which will help you elevate yourself. You're not going to hate office politics anymore. In fact, you will enjoy it, because you'll start getting success in office politics. Then there is a course on micromanagement. This is very important, because many times if you are working for a micromanager, you struggle to deal with it. So who is a micromanager? Why is micromanagement bad? How to handle a micromanager if you're working for one? And if you're a micromanager yourself or likely to become one, how to not become a micromanager is what I talk about. And finally, a very important thing is that in some exceptional situations, micromanagement is essential. So I talk about that as well. Now let's have a quick look at the system where all this is set up. It is on a platform called as Teachable. Let me give you a short demonstration of it. So this is the admin console where we have over 250 students. So this is the landing page where we have all the courses, and if you get into these courses, so if you get into the Leadership Mastery System, has all these videos, Negotiation Skills Guide has all these videos, and the Inner Circle, these are all the archives that are there from the month of August. And an important thing here is that even if you join this community today, you will be able to access all the archives of the past. So you don't miss out on anything. From now on, every Monday, you will be a part of my community and you will get access to the Inner Circle. Every Monday, be there live. However, at times you may miss out, but no worries, because you will anyways have the recording made available to you. So in summary, it is the Inner Circle community membership that you get. Then there is a clarity session that I do. A one-to-one clarity session. It's a 45-minute Zoom call that I do, where we sort out your issues, your challenges, and it's a confidential discussion. It is just you and I. We do it for 45 minutes and we break down all your challenges, all your mindset issues. These are all the courses that are available. So once you come into the Leadership Mastery System, the Inner Circle community and access to all these courses will be available to you for a lifetime. You will get lifetime access, lifetime membership to the Inner Circle, and the one-to-one clarity session. I will be doing one session, obviously. So lifetime membership to all of this is what you get once you're into the community. As a package, this will cost you rupees 12,499. However, since you have come this far and since you are serious about your journey, I have a very special offer for you. This is not going to cost you 12,499. I am giving you an amazing offer. All of this will be available to you for only rupees 3,999. Rupees 3,999 only. This entire thing is available to you. It is a mind-blowing offer. Very soon I am going to be changing the price. So grab this offer right now and just get into my system. The payment link is given below. This is a one-time offer. This is a one-time payment. You just make this payment and jump in and your life will be transformed. Once you're into the Leadership Hub community, you will learn so many things that it will be mind blowing and your leadership journey will begin right away. I have a simple principle. If you give me 1 rupee in currency, I will give you 10 rupees in value. And remember, I told you I was in the IT world for over 2 decades. For me, this is not about the money. I'm doing it as a passion. So to make you successful is what I am passionate about. And if you do all the necessary things, then I will guarantee that you will be successful. If you're not serious about your journey, if you just want to continue the way you have been so far, my suggestion is don't take this offer. Don't waste your money. If you are really serious about this, then take this offer, jump in, and we will have a great learning experience together. Once you complete the transaction, there are 3 things that will happen. First is you will get an email from the Teachable system giving you access to the courses. Second is I will be sending you a WhatsApp message from my primary phone number welcoming you and giving you some basic instructions. And thirdly, I will be adding you to our Inner Circle community group. So you will get added there and then you will be on autopilot because you will understand what is happening when and who is involved, what are the links, when is it happening, everything. So you are going to have an awesome learning journey. Do join in and I will see you inside the community. Thank you very much for watching this video and I welcome you warmly with wide open arms into the inner circle of our leadership hub. Thank you once again. Cheers.